Ted, thanks for your time. So we just heard from Stephen Jones. This was off the back of Treasury yesterday backing direct government intervention to force down gas prices. What sort of intervention would you support?
Well, I think those comments from Treasury are basically code saying to the government, you have to act. The problem that we've seen right throughout industry, and they've been calling for this for months, not just since the budget, they need the government to start acting. And in particular, they need to pour more gas supply into the market. And I think when I hear Treasury, when I hear the Australian Workers' Union, when I hear major corporations coming up with ideas, it is reflective of the problem we've got, and that is a government that has no ideas. Yes, they need to act, but they need a plan. They told the Australian people they had one. They've been caught out. It's now up to them to formulate a plan and communicate it.
But freeing up more gas, I mean, that's going to need a lot of state approval. That is also going to take a lot of time. That's not going to help the now, is it?
Well, we were able to do it, and that is because we engaged with the gas industry. I was calling day one in this role on Chris Bowen as the Energy Minister to have a crisis meeting with the gas CEOs. He refused. He only wanted to meet with climate activists as well as with his state counterparts. And all those meetings with state counterparts have not come to any outcome on this. You need to engage with industry, and sometimes that means you've got to be tough with them too. Yeah. But when you've got a Labor Party that has very little business experience, they don't know how to deal with industry, and the problem lags and goes on and on.
But wouldn't an increased windfall tax be more immediate, would help people more in the short term?
Look, we have never believed that tax is the answer to economic problems. I know it's the natural instinct of the Labor Party to tax. For them, that's what they do. They think that the world goes around by just wealth redistribution. That's the only solution out there. We will do what we always do, Peter, as an opposition. We will be constructive where we can, but we will be critical where we must.
But wouldn't that be more immediate?
If the government comes forward with a plan, we will have a look at it. I think at this stage, whether you talk about price caps, reservation schemes, taxes, all they are thought bubbles. We're seeing it now in COP. What the government does is it will run with an idea without any detail, any modelling.
Right.
What is going to be the impact on supply, on demand, on businesses, on workers? These are the questions the government needs to answer with whatever proposal it puts forward. The opposition stands here waiting. We've been waiting for months. We will be constructive, but it's up to the government to lead. They said they had a plan. They don't have one. They need to formulate one.
But, I mean, these big companies are taking our resource and are enjoying the spoils of that while we are paying huge prices. Why not shave some of that off to help the people?
Well, there's no doubt that we're putting pressure on the gas industry on nearly a daily basis. Our then ministers, Angus Taylor as Energy and Keith Pitt as Resources, were onto the gas companies every second day, pressuring them to put gas into the market.
Right, but it wasn't working because the prices were already on the way up under your government.
We kept prices down, Peter. Now, there's no doubt. I mean, we're talking about energy, right? Prices go up and down, but the history tells us that the last term of government alone, we were able to reduce the price of energy for households by 8%, businesses 10%, industry by 12%. Now, you know, the war in Ukraine started long before the election. Nevertheless, Labor went to the election promising the Australian people a $275 reduction in their power bills, promising industry massive reductions, yet their budget revealed the truth: over 50% increase in electricity in the next financial year, over 40% in gas. They've been caught out, not only with an untruth, with a broken promise, but also with a lack of any plan to deal with this crisis.
A couple of quick ones here, Ted. Chris Bowen, he's about to head to Egypt for COP27. He'll be there soon enough. Pat Conroy's already there. We'll be there too. Is that sufficient in your view?
Well, what concerns me about their trip is what they're signing up to. They're signing up to a methane pledge without having done any modelling on the impact, especially on Australian livestock sector. That's bizarre. It's, again, a broken promise. Albanese made it very clear, stood with the coalition against the methane pledge, but now they're signing up to it. And as for this loss and damage fund, seriously, You know, Albanese was very quick to rule out supporting Australian households that are really hurting with cost of living pressures. But yesterday, Peter Dutton asked him in question time if he would rule out signing up to this new fund. Wouldn't do it. Wouldn't agree to rule it out. So happy to consider giving away billions of dollars, China being a possible recipient, effectively signing a blank cheque on behalf of Australia, but not going to help Australian households.
Okay, and the final one here, Peter Reith, we've had confirmation of his unfortunate passing yesterday. Ted, what's your reflections on that?
Oh, so sad, Peter. You know, he's not just a giant of the Liberal Party, but I think for us who are currently in the world of public service, it's just a reminder of the need for courage. For me, Peter Reith loomed large because he had the moral courage of his convictions, and he demonstrated that. And certainly where I had engagements with him, including through the TV screen when he was interviewing me on Sky, you know, we're going to miss him deeply, but nothing like Kerry and his 4 boys will.
All right. Well put. Ted O'Brien.